When you think of great power rivalries, what pops into your head? Huge armies clashing on a battlefield? Giant chunks of territory being conquered? Well, what if I told you the future of global dominance is actually being decided in tiny, overlooked places you've probably never even heard of? Today, we are diving deep into the world's new hidden battlegrounds, these high-interest geopolitical niches.
To really get our heads around this, we kind of need a new kind of map, one that connects places that seem totally unrelated and reveals a global puzzle that's hiding in plain sight.
So let's play detective for a minute. What could these three completely random-sounding places possibly have in common? We're talking about a vital waterway, a remote salt flats, and some obscure building in France. Let's look at each piece of this puzzle.
Okay, first up, the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, it's just a 21-mile-wide shipping lane. But get this, through that tiny little choke point flows about a fifth of the entire world's daily oil supply. It is an absolutely critical artery for the global economy.
Next, we're going to travel to a lithium mine deep in Bolivia's Uyuni salt flat. It's this remote, almost otherworldly kind of place. So why on earth is it so important? Well, because that lithium is a key ingredient in the battery that's powering the very device you're watching this on right now.
And for our final piece of the puzzle, a single, pretty unassuming building in Marseille, France. This is an undersea cable landing station. It's one of the physical spots where the internet, the lifeblood of our digital world, literally comes ashore from the bottom of the sea.
So, a shipping lane, a salt flat, and a data hub. The connection? They are all high-interest geopolitical niches. These are the pressure points, the small, often overlooked places that hold an immense and frankly disproportionate amount of power in the 21st century.
And that brings us right to the core idea here. What exactly is a geopolitical niche? Let's unpack the incredible power that's hidden inside these strategic pressure points. Let's really chew on this definition. A limited area, so something small and specific, whose control gives a disproportionate strategic advantage. Think of it like finding a single light switch that can turn off the power for an entire city. That's the idea. So what makes a place a niche? It's really this perfect storm. A tiny footprint combined with massive strategic or economic importance. And of course, that combination naturally leads to intense competition, because if one power controls it, it creates a critical dependency and a huge vulnerability for literally everyone else. They're like the world's geopolitical acupuncture points.
Okay, so theory is one thing, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's jump into some fascinating case studies where this fight for niche power is playing out right now.
Let's start with just a number, $10 trillion. That is the estimated value of financial transactions zipping through the world's network of undersea internet cables every single day. We're not just talking about sending emails here. This is the central nervous system of the entire global economy.
And here's the crazy part. You don't need a massive army to cause absolute chaos. The anatomy of disruption is terrifyingly simple. You just have to locate one of these key choke points, sever a few cables, and you could, in theory, paralyze global markets and communications. That, right there, is niche power.
Now, let's pivot to a completely different type of niche, resources. By 2025, it's estimated that one single country, China, is going to process 85% of all rare earth metals. These are the elements that are essential for everything from electric cars to advanced defense systems, even the fiber optic cables we were just talking about. That is just a staggering level of supply chain concentration. And this quote, it really just says it all. The nation that controls the supply of critical minerals will control the future of technology. See, it's not just about today's economy. It's about having strategic control over the future itself. It's holding immense leverage over every other nation's technological and military ambitions. So all of this might sound like some high-level geopolitical chess game, right? But what does it actually mean for you? Let's trace the global ripple effect all the way from these niche conflicts right down into your daily life.
What we're witnessing here is a fundamental shift in what power even means. Look, the old metrics, armies, nukes, land, of course they're still important, but a whole new column has appeared on the board. Power today is also defined by who controls the flow of data, who dominates supply chains, and who has access to critical resources. It's a much more subtle and in a lot of ways, a more fragile kind of power.
So here's exactly why this matters to you. The competition happening in these niches directly affects things like the price of your phone and whether you can even get one. It affects how reliable your internet is and even how fast the world can transition to green energy.
A disruption in a Bolivian salt flat isn't just some headline from far away. It has real, tangible consequences for all of us. So where does all this lead? I mean, this isn't a static game. As our technology and our global needs change, so do the battlegrounds. Let's try and look beyond the horizon for a second, at what the next frontier of these geopolitical niches might be.
The map is constantly being redrawn. As the Arctic ice melts, brand new shipping lanes are opening up. That's a massive geographical niche. Low Earth orbit is getting incredibly crowded, creating fierce competition for satellite slots. And think about this one. Who's going to control the vast databases of human genetic code? These are the niches of tomorrow, and believe me, the race to control them is already on.
Which brings us to our final thought. If the most important battlegrounds are the ones that are hardest to see, the ones hiding in plain sight, it really begs a critical question. In a world full of these hidden frontiers, what crucial pressure point are we all overlooking right now?